My dear friends, let me ask you something. As the years pass, have you noticed how the world feels louder and louder? Everyone has something to say. Everyone has advice. Everyone seems to know how you should live. But here's the truth. Old age is not about following the noise. It's about finding peace. It's about turning inward. It's about choosing silence when silence gives you strength. Today I want to talk with you, heart to heart, about why this season of life is the perfect time to focus on yourself, and why silence can become your greatest wisdom. As we grow older, many things change. Our bodies slow down. Some friends and loved ones are no longer there for us. Children build their own lives, and the roles we played for decades as workers, parents, caregivers, fade into memory. It's natural to feel like you've lost a part of your identity. For years you may have measured yourself by how much you gave to others. Now this is the time to measure yourself by how much peace you allow yourself to feel. Focusing on yourself doesn't mean selfishness. It means self-respect. It means remembering that your well-being matters too. Think about it. Haven't you spent most of your life giving? Giving time, energy, advice, care. But now your health, your mind, and your spirit need your attention more than ever. A woman named Mary, for decades she was the glue in her family. She raised children, helped with her grandchildren, volunteered at her church, and even cared for a sick neighbor. She never said no. She never paused. She thought her worth was measured in how much she could give. But in her 70s, her health began to suffer. She felt tired, drained, almost invisible. And that's when she realized she had never truly asked herself, "What do I need?" So Mary made a decision. She began to take time for herself. She said no when she needed rest. She returned to painting, something she loved as a young girl but had abandoned. She sat in her garden in silence, watching the birds. At first her family thought she was withdrawing, but slowly they began to see something else. They saw her smile again. They saw her strength return. Mary later said, "For the first time in my life, I feel like I'm living for me, not just for everyone else." Mary's story reminds us, when you focus on yourself, you don't lose love. You gain peace. And that peace blesses everyone around you too. Now let's talk about silence. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is fullness. It's the moment when your soul takes a deep breath. In a noisy world, silence can feel uncomfortable. But silence, when chosen, is healing. It gives your heart space. It gives your mind rest. Think of silence like a garden. When you stop the noise, you make room for peace to grow. You don't need to fill every moment with conversation. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to join every argument. Sometimes silence is the most powerful answer. Take John, a retired mechanic in his 80s. His children adored him, but they constantly asked for help, fixing things, babysitting, attending every family event. John loved them, but he felt worn out. One evening, instead of driving across town for yet another gathering, John simply stayed home. He made himself tea, sat in his favorite chair, and opened a book. At first, guilt crept in. He thought, "Am I being selfish?" But as he sat in that silence, he felt something he hadn't felt in years: calm. The next day, he gently told his children, "I love you, but I need time for me too." To his surprise, they didn't resent it. They respected it. They realized their father was still teaching them a lesson, how to care for themselves. Like John, we can all learn that silence is not running away. Silence is choosing peace. Silence teaches you to listen to yourself, to the whispers of your heart, and to the wisdom that only comes when the noise is gone. Did you know that in the United States, nearly 1 in 3 older adults report feeling lonely? And research shows that loneliness can increase the risk of heart disease, stroke, and depression. But here's the important part. Being alone is not the same as being lonely. You can sit in silence and feel whole. You can rest in solitude and feel connected to life. Mary, in her garden, found healing in the quiet. John, in his chair, found strength in a peaceful evening. Both discovered what science now confirms. Silence lowers stress, calms the heart, and even supports the immune system. So when you choose silence, you're not just protecting your mind, you're protecting your health. My friends, silence also protects your dignity. When you grow older, you don't need to prove yourself anymore. You don't need to argue every point. You don't need to chase approval. Silence says, I have nothing to prove. I am enough. It also teaches acceptance. Life has brought joys and losses. Some things cannot be changed. Some regrets cannot be undone. Silence gives you space to let them go. Mary let go of years of guilt by painting again. John let go of the pressure to please everyone by choosing rest. Both found dignity in silence and both discovered peace in acceptance. When you learn to sit in silence, you learn to sit with yourself. And when you sit with yourself, you discover that you are stronger, wiser, and more complete than you ever realized.